What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Home Built Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. How's everybody doing today? Right on. This here computer box tells me we're live, so hopefully everything is working as we get set up here, kind of get things in place and settle in. We're doing something a little bit different this time. Apparently they rolled out a new feature for the YouTube lives where you can do both the normal horizontal as well as a vertical. So I've got two different preview windows here, which is kind of weird. You probably can't see all of it. I wish I could zoom out the vertical one a little bit, but I guess you can't. Anyway, let's get the chat going here. Make sure I got everything visible. There's the chat. Let's see here. So if you have if you're watching this on a computer and you happen to have your mobile device handy, bring up the stream on that as well and see if that's working. Let's see here. It's kind of strange looking at both of these. I don't know which one to look at. So you only have a limited space for the vertical one, so I'm trying to stay in the frame, which I can't quite figure out where that needs to be. It's a very narrow. It's only about this much room. Well, interesting. Alrighty, let's see here. Neptunes is here. What's up, my friend? How we doing? Neptune says howdy. Howdy, howdy. What is going on, Neptunes? Glad you're here. Very cool. Right on. Sam's here. Sam says hello, everyone. Neptunes, hi, Sam. Terry's here. Terry, hello, Jeff. Hello, Terry. How we doing? Right on. Right on. I'm glad you guys are here. Oh, Sam says, set is live. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Sam always keeps me in check on that. Some reason, it always defaults to like top chat or something like that. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but so what happens is I don't end up seeing some of the comments sometimes. And I think in the past, that's why I've gotten feedback that, hey, you missed my comment or whatever. I think that's why. All right, I think what I might need to do is scoot this camera back. I don't know how that's going to work. If it'll even work. It's probably going to be all kinds of out of frame here. Ooh, this actually might be kind of cool if I can get this to work. Oh, I've never had it like that before. I kind of like it. It gives a little more field of view. The camera is actually behind the laptop. I always had it in front of the laptop. I like this better. Oh, and it gives more room for the vertical. Oh, cool. I like it. Why did I never try that before? All right. Let's see. So today, January the 14th. We're halfway through January already. That is crazy. What's everybody been up to? Are we back into the swing of things after the holiday break? Let's see. Robert says, howdy, people. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe and healthy. Robert, we're doing good. I hope you're doing the same. Let's see. Zuhariza, sorry if I said that wrong, says, don't know what your channel's about. Just saw this live. Camera's fine. You're in the center. Audio is great. Nice. Right on. Well, just a quick, I don't know, very high level overview. My channel is just kind of it's a DIY channel about making things, building things, fixing things, all sorts of things. It's not just strictly woodworking or not just strictly, metalworking. I like to do a huge variety of things. Leatherworking. I build and play guitars, all sorts of things like that. And then this live stream is just a weekly time where we can hang out together, ask questions, talk about things that each other's working on, and really just a fun little hour-long hangout just to get caught up and just chat about stuff. So if there's any questions or projects or things like that you've got questions on, by all means, go ahead and throw those out there. I almost never have a set topic, and that is because I want to keep this an open conversation. That way, if you or anybody else has a question about a particular DIY sort of situation, then you can throw it out there. Just because we're talking about one particular thing doesn't mean you can't ask a question about something unrelated. So, welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Sam says 6 degrees Celsius in the UK. Right on. I don't know what we're at here. 40 or so Fahrenheit? Honestly, I have no idea. Well, that says 34. So, not terribly warm, but also not below freezing either. Robert says my phone still shows as a horizontal format like it shows on the computer. I exited out of the phone because the audio was playing on both. It was a bit off-putting. Oh, interesting. Was it playing both streams? I could see how that's weird. I'm noticing right here on the preview window that they're not synced together for some reason. I don't know why that is, but again, this is the first time that I've ever done this. So I just saw that it was that they released this. So just trying it out for the first time. So I got some sort of pop-up there. I don't know why that. Why is it saying I can add a screenshot? I don't know why. Did I click something wrong? I hope. No, I have nothing to report. I'm not reporting a problem. Oh, that's the send feedback button. Okay. All right. So we're good. We're good. All right. Sorry. I'm back. I'm back. Newbies, I tell you what, been doing this for how many years? And just now sort of figuring this out. Sam says, can you set up a visual and audio notification when people donate with PayPal during the live stream? I probably could. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure how that integrates. And that might be something like that's going to be something through OBS, I think. I believe you can. I just don't know at this moment how to do that. I'll check it out. Zuhariza says, nice, dude. I played guitar too. Currently learning Atlanta rhythm section and Iron Maiden songs. Right on. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been a guitar player for years, and been building guitars for quite a few years now too. If you have a few minutes at some point, scroll back on the channel and kind of look through the catalog of videos on there. There's all different types, like I mentioned, but quite a few guitar builds and that sort of thing. Some of them are a little shorter, kind of all-in-one kind of builds, and I've got some that are pretty long. I've got an acoustic guitar build series that's like, I don't know, 17 or 18 videos or something like that. But yeah, that's awesome. Blonde Brownies, what's going on? How we doing there, cousin? Says, need a recommendation for epoxy and dye to repair, reinforce my father-in-law's rifle stock. I belong to his grandmother. And dye. So you want to epoxy it? Is it, let's see, a few things that come to mind. Is it the piece that's broken still there and you just need to put it together, or is there a piece that is absolutely missing and you need to sort of rebuild that? But as far as epoxy, I mean, I've used quite a few different kinds. I've used some stuff from Total Boat. None of this is sponsored. I have no relationship with anybody that I mention. I've used some stuff from Total Boat. That's really good. I've used some stuff from a company. I think it's called System 3. I bought that locally at my local Woodcraft. I don't know if there's anything like that around. Man, depending on what you need to do, you might be able to just use like some 5-minute epoxy kind of stuff that you can grab at the hardware store. Depends on what you need to do. But as far as a dye, I've used I keep looking up here because I've got a few. I don't know how these would work. I'm going to stand on a frame here for a second. But don't worry, I'll be back. I've got some trans tint dye. Again, not sponsored or anything like that. This is a liquid dye. You can get it in all different colors. I don't know what this is, blue right here, but you can get all different colors. Sometimes it takes a bit of mixing and matching some different dyes. I've had pretty good luck with like a powdered dye. I just happen to have it all right here. Again, this is a blue, but this is it's like a mica powder. I'm afraid to open this. This stuff reminds me of, you see the dust coming off of that? This stuff reminds me of anti-seize. You know the silver anti-seize stuff? If you even think about the can of anti-seize, you're going to end up with it on you. This is sort of the same way. I'm going to have blue all over me even though I didn't even do anything. This stuff is by a company called Black Diamond Pigments. Not sponsored. I've used their stuff with pretty good results, and I have used this. They have like a million different colors, and you can mix it in with epoxy if you're trying to color the epoxy. But again, it depends on what you're trying to do. If it's fixing a crack or something, you may not even need the dye. If you're trying to rebuild the piece, then you might have to play around with some colors. But yeah, if you get a chance, I see that I send pictures later. Yeah, that'll work, and then we can kind of figure out a little better, kind of what exactly might work best for you. And again, there's probably going to be 50 different ways you can do it too. So yeah, send it over when you get time, and we'll take a look. Jimmer says, "What's up, Jimmer? What's going on? Happy Wednesday." Oh, let's see. We've got a user Ed username here. Says, what's the quality comparison of the guitars you built and something of similar costs? That's a really good question. Something of similar costs. I mean, I'd like to say that mine are better because it's handmade, but I get that that's not the answer you're looking for, and that's not even the answer that I would give. That's just kind of the smart alecky answer, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, the quality difference is really, I would say, the attention to detail. I mean, when you get something off the factory assembly line, if you're even buying a high end something or other, right? It's an excellent guitar, but in most cases, it's still off of an assembly line. Maybe it has different levels of hands-on, but mine are literally done by hand. Unless it's one that I've used the CNC machine for to cut out the body, but that's literally it. It's all my designs, my shaping, my vision for the overall aesthetic. I use the good quality components that are of equal or better than what you would get in your normal guitar store components. All your normal hardware and stuff like that. It's just something that I've built. I don't know if that fully answers your question, but feel free to ask more and we can dive a little bit deeper. Terry's here. Terry says 22 degrees and snowing in central Michigan. Right on. A little taste of winter. We have 0 tastes of winter for the next 2 weeks at least. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of strange. Robert says the format of the stream is slightly different today. I have to scroll the window up just slightly to be able to get the section. Oh, like the comment section? I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that it's dual streaming. I don't know. Oh, to get to the section where I can type in the chat. That's interesting. I don't know why that is. I don't know how, having the dual streaming would affect that. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying I don't have all the answers. Blonde Brownie. Oh, yeah. Says I'll send pictures later. I saw that. Sam says, The Dyson air purifier fan is worth getting. Very sensitive sensors. Picked up a 1-second spray of deodorant and showed it on the screen as a difference in air quality. There's a screen? Wow. That's crazy. Sam says it's messy as glitter. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's like glitter. Jimmer said the heater's good. That's awesome. Jim's been working on one of those waste oil, not I was going to say diesel heater, but waste used motor oil heaters, and got quite a heater working now, and it turned out awesome. So that is super cool. I want to build something like that. I think I mentioned it. I want to build a very similar contraption into a forge, and that's one of my projects this year. At some point, I'm trying to scavenge, shall we say, materials to build this forge, and so I don't want to go and have to buy a whole bunch of things. I probably will have to, purchase a couple pieces, but I'm trying to find everything, do some scavenging right now to save some money on that build. But yeah, it's something I definitely want to do because I always have used oil. I usually take it to our local auto parts place. They do the recycling on it. But if I can use it to power a forge once in a while, that would be pretty awesome. So Jim, I'm glad to hear that your shop is nice and warm with the new heater. Cheers, everyone. Some nice hot coffee this morning. Tastes really good. So what have we been working on around here? Well, you probably, well, can't see a whole lot, but I've got some boards and things behind me here. We've been doing, after hours, I guess, we've been rearranging my daughter's room and getting rid of some old furniture and stuff and kind of things that were, kind of broken. This is the top of an old dresser. Actually, it's an old dresser that I've had since I was, I don't know, since I was like a tiny kid. I don't remember having any other dresser. I gave it to her years ago to use in her room, but it's kind of been falling apart. So I busted it in half, or busted it all up the other day. And this is like, I don't know, 1/2-inch pine. I'm going to use this for some test pieces just to start cutting out patterns for the new guitar that I've been modeling. That's the other thing I've been working on, which I'll get to that in a few. But I've saved a few of the pieces from this old dresser. I'm on the vertical video. You're not going to be able to see this probably, but maybe a little bit right here. We're just going to use this for some test cuts. I figured it's going to work fine. I don't have to, try to prepare any sort of MDF or plywood or something. I'm just going to use this. So yeah, kind of been doing some of that stuff after hours and modeling a guitar that I've been talking about. Man, the hours of modeling have been ticking away. It is kind of crazy. Yeah. If you've never modeled a guitar in 3D design software, it can be kind of a lot. At least for me. I don't consider myself a extremely proficient 3D modeler. But I've done it. The bass guitar that I built last year, that was all modeled. So this is really my second full-on model. I've done a few necks and some other things, but full-on guitar model. And it's been quite a challenge, I guess, to say the least. Oops. Let me turn this off here. Oh, Sam, that was you. Right on. Sam, thank you. Thank you so much. So there's the notification. Sam with the PayPal donate. Right on. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So maybe, yeah, there we go. All right, Sam. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, the guitar design. I've got it pretty well 100% modeled. I'm working out a couple of the bevels. So this is the design that I'm going to be using. I'm trying to hold this so that you can see it in the vertical video. This is the Dorian model, the Haley Guitars Dorian. It's one of my designs. I've built several of these using this particular set of templates, but I'm digitizing the whole thing. I'm working out some of the arm bevels and different cutaways and things. That's sort of that's where I'm at right now. But the whole guitar, the neck, everything is modeled and pretty much ready to go. Yesterday I did start doing a few test cuts. Now I totally get that some people aren't going to be interested in this build because I'm using the CNC machine. That's fine. I know you guys are all going to be all for it, or you don't have any issue with it, I should say. But when I post the video, it's always a heated topic of discussion. But that's what I'm doing, and I'm sticking to it. But the model is almost ready to go. I got a couple cool things that I'm excited to try out, some different ideas. I've seen similar things done before for the fretboard markers, but this is something I want to do on this. So I'm trying to go, I don't want to say all out, but kind of all out. Jim says, finally beat you to a build. Yes. Yes, you did. I know there's been a couple projects that I've done over the years, and Jim's like, dang it, I've been wanting to build one of those. The belt grinder is the main one that comes to mind. But that's okay. You've already started yours, and you'll get to it. And off the record, Jim, I need to talk to you at some point for a few minutes, whenever you got time, maybe later this afternoon or tonight or something. Let's see. Robert says, one thing about building your own guitar is a simple fact. You build it to your own specs and you put the components you choose. Yes, Robert. Yeah, that's exactly it. Outside of a couple of commissions that I've done over the years, most of my guitars are to spec. I build them with the components I want, with different features, colors, materials, design elements that I would want. And I mainly build, we've talked about this in the past, I mainly build my guitars, even ones that I'm going to be selling, I build them to spec. You know, just like to the way I want them, and then I offer them up for sale. I've done commissions, but I'd rather build what I want to build and put it out there. Jimmer says, all on TikTok. Oh, I don't get on TikTok much. I've got some stuff on there, but I need to go on there and take a look at it. Sam says, PayPal donation sent. Got it. Sam, thank you. Robert says, I watched a YouTube video a few weeks ago where a guy found a headboard from a bed that someone was throwing away and took it and built a guitar from it. Yeah, just about anything. I've got this piece here. This is probably 4 feet long. I also took some of the back panels, which are also 1/2-inch softwood, and I've glued those up to build a panel. And just gonna use that stuff. You know, use the scrap material. I don't want to bust into, you know, usable material if I don't have to, especially while I'm working out some of the details. Which I think I started to say that earlier. I did start doing some test cuts yesterday, getting things aligned, trying to make sure that everything is where I want it. Maybe today I'll actually get to cutting out essentially this, you know, the outer shape, because I want to compare this template and see how accurate I did redrawing this in 3D. So that's going to be that's going to be interesting. I want to see how close it is. Sam says, YouTube receives 0% of that. I warned them with the unskippable ads. Targeting my paid super chat questions. Yeah, leading me to miss you reading it out. Yes, Sam, thank you. Thank you. And I'm sorry that happens. I wish I could control when that is going to show up, but Jim says, anytime, you know that. Yes. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Paul's here. Paul says, greetings, everyone. Hope you're having a great week. Paul, what's going on? How we doing? What are you up to today, Paul? Very cool. We need some coffee. Yeah, I end up with all this, talking about, you know, getting rid of some of this stuff, reconfiguring my daughter's room. I mean, she had I think I've kind of done the hand-me-down thing to her. It's kind of nice to kind of upgrade some of her stuff. My old hand-me-down dresser, she had my old hand-me-down desk that I've had, and we finally got rid of all of that stuff. The desk was mostly MDF, so we just threw that away. But I did save several pieces, like I said, from this dresser that will be used for at least test cuts on the guitar. And I think everything else we've talked about. The pine, I showed you the blue stain pine that's back here. That is going to be probably used for test cuts. I'm right there on this guitar build, where I'm ready to start doing some cuts. We're still a little ways out from actually working on it. But I think this week I'm going to shoot for filming a video. Remember a while back, well, I talked about, how I got started in this. Somebody asked in the chat how I got started building guitars, and I kind of went through that story. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to film a video about that, maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, depends on the time. And we're just going to make that a video. I'm going to shoot for having that a video this weekend. It's just kind of a talking sort of thing. But I want to put that out there because just for posterity, I guess, might be the best way to explain that. Yeah, I think we're just going to do that because I'm not quite ready yet to start actually working on this Dorian guitar build on camera yet. But I do want to put that story of how I got started, at least kind of my story on that. Paul says, I'm getting back into the shop this weekend. Looking forward to it. Yes, Paul. That means everything's going good, right? Very good news. That is awesome. Sam says, liking the stream helps the channel grow, and it's totally free. Yes. Yes. You guys, I know you guys all do this already. Hit that thumbs up. And if for some reason you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends. Send everyone this way. Yeah, looking at totally side note. Looking at some of the numbers, I don't know why. Like everything seems kind of in a weird slump. Now it always does that this time of year, but a lot of times it picks up in the fall going into winter. It didn't seem to do that this year. I don't know if that's across the board for a lot of people, but it's kind of weird. So hit that subscribe button, hit that share, hit that thumbs up. Anything you can do, help spread the word. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm not just saying that. Robert says, I saw the photo you posted on Instagram where you were out in the snow, so I guess you finally got a bit of snow. Yes, we did. I think I mentioned, I posted, it was in a post that I was doing some guitar repairs. The last week, remember I said I was waiting for a customer to come drop off some guitars. Bam, right on schedule, 10:05. Customer gets here right as we were done hanging out, drops off the guitars, and said something about picking them up over the weekend. And we talked about there was some snow coming in, and I said, yeah, I don't think I'll have them done the next day, which was Thursday, but we'll see what we'd see what happens. Anyway, where was I going with this? That Thursday afternoon, we ended up getting a little bit of snow. Right when I was at the school to pick up the kiddo from school, and then that evening we got. I don't want to say hammered, but it really came down. We ended up with like 8 inches of snow. I think actually we got 9 was what was the official amount, but I measured 8 here. It was so cool. Yeah, it was really nice to finally get some snow. And yeah, Friday schools were closed. Pretty much everything was closed because it was a pretty widespread snow area. Yeah, it was pretty awesome actually. Had to do a little bit of shoveling, which is pretty cool. I don't mind shoveling snow. A lot of people hate that. I don't mind it whatsoever. Yeah, so we got that snow basically Friday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning. So Friday finished up the guitars for the customer. Actually, I finished them up on Thursday. I tried to get them done, so if he wanted to pick them up before the weather. But so I got them done on Thursday. Friday, I just went back and double checked everything to make sure I didn't miss anything. Customer came back Saturday. The weather had cleared off. But yeah, we still have some snow on the ground in spots. But I think yesterday was like 50 degrees. So a lot of, roads, all that sort of thing is absolutely melted clear. But we do have some in the more shaded areas. It was awesome. It felt like winter for just a tiny sliver of time. Sam says, never openly admit that you have wet wood. Might be misinterpretive since not everyone knows that you build guitars. True, Sam. I'll keep that in mind. Robert says the video and audio is a bit out of sync. The audio is lagging a bit. Interesting. Sam says try refreshing. Huh. Yeah, anybody else experiencing any issues? I've got all these preview windows right here. I almost need another monitor for this. This is going to like turn into a whole production. Robert says refreshed and it's still a bit lagging. Huh. Let me see here. Let's go over here to OBS. I'm seeing it only shows 28 dropped frames, which to me doesn't sound like a lot. Usually when I start having trouble, it's like hundreds or thousands of dropped frames. It looks like things are okay at the moment. 30. So if it's got 30, let me understand this. 28 dropped frames, and we're streaming at 30 frames a second. So it's basically 1 second of video. So maybe that is where you're seeing the, if it's just like a stutter, I don't know. Sam says, I'm watching the stream on my 55-inch TV. Whoa, that sounds cool. Jim says, no lag here. Rather have wet wood than dry wood sometimes. Oh, boy. Robert says it got okay again now. Weird. Who knows? Who knows? I'm still waiting for this fiber optic internet. Man, I think I told you guys a few weeks ago they came through and pulled the actual fiber cable through the conduit. And since I signed up on the day that they told me I could sign up. All they have to do now is connect it to the house. I just don't know when that's going to happen. I've not heard a single thing. I got an email 2 weeks ago, maybe sometime during the Christmas break, I believe. And it was saying something about we're working in your area, but there was nothing about them connecting to the house. So I don't know. I want the fiber. Something better than what I've got. So what are you guys working on? What kind of projects? What do you guys typically do this time of year? A lot of us live in an area where, some part of the world where it gets cold this time of year, or just the opposite for folks like Harry Dude, where he's burning up. But when it's cold and nasty, do you find yourself maybe not turning out as many projects, or do you just keep on trucking? I usually, and we've talked about this before, I do like to take this time, especially the Christmas break, because schools are out and that sort of thing. It's a lot harder to get that shop time. So I kind of have that downtime sort of built in, but I like to try to keep things going. Maybe it's not as full speed this time of year, especially just coming off of the holiday break. And this year I'm working on this guitar model. I don't know. I'm just curious how you guys handle stuff like that. The cold weather, or do you take a little bit of time? I'm finding this year it's kind of I'm kind of enjoying it. A little bit of time to sort of um, reset the brain, kind of prepare for this upcoming year. But I'm really excited to get into this guitar, and hopefully in the next couple of days I'll have some really good test cuts, and we can get this build going. But just curious how everybody does things. Let's see. Sam says you can now get a MiFi that's fast enough for streaming games on. Best Buy is best. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Jim says fiber is good at our age. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. Robert says been waiting for fiber internet connect here at my place for the past 4 or 5 years. Oh man, I hope mine doesn't take that long. The good news is here is the cable is in the yard. It is there, and the little box where they make all the connections is right there. I can go open it up and look inside because it's not sealed yet. It doesn't do anything at the moment, so it's just kind of covered. One of these days. Donna's here. Donna says, hey, good morning. Coffee up. Donna. Bam. Coffee up. Cheers, Donna. How are you doing? And good morning. How's everything going in your neck of the woods? Right on. Robert says, I think I'm part bear. Since when it gets cold in the winter, I want to sleep more, like hibernating. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Two-way chef and barbecue. What's going on? Says you should try working on a real guitar. Models are for kids. A real guitar. Like, I got templates. My own templates. What's going on? How you been, man? Right on. How's things going with you? We could say I'm transitioning from my templates, a few of these things. Sam says, where's Nightbot? Nightbot? I don't know. Paul says, my internet service is upgrading my connection to 2 gig up, 2 gig down later this month. Man, Paul. Looking at, I think, if I remember correctly, I think that's the max plan I can get when they actually do this. And I might go with that, even though there's zero chance that I need 2 gigs. But I think they have a 500 gig, they have a 500 megabyte, they have a 1 gig and a 2 gig, I believe. So I might just go with the 2 gig because it's literally like the cost of the crappy internet that I have now. Or I might go with the 1 gig to save a few bucks, actually. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Because 1 gig, I don't even know if I would use 1 gig. But that's wild. K McCall says, hey, what's going on? Welcome. Good morning. Jimmer says, started on building the heat exchanger for the 1920 Curtis compressor waste oil furnace. Yeah. So, and that's the oil furnace is built, the main body that he's mentioning, the 1920 Curtis compressor, the chamber, the outer chamber of the thing is from an old air compressor tank. It looks super cool. It's like got like old rivets and stuff in there. It looks like super steampunky and stuff like that, which I know was exactly what you were going for. It looks super cool. Donna says, made a squirrel house and they love it. I may have to make another one. That's super cool. I wish we had more squirrels. I know a lot of people, think of them as like a pest. They're always getting into the bird feeders or whatever. I like squirrels for some reason. They're just funny. And we seem to get one here once a year, maybe twice a year. One squirrel. He'll come and hang out for a couple weeks, it seems, and then he's out of here. We just don't have him here. We have lots of rabbits, but not squirrels. I wish we had more squirrels. The problem is, one year I bought a bag of like a food that squirrels like. He has corn and all kinds of stuff in there because I wanted to try to get more squirrels, and I attracted about 15 raccoons. And I literally had to spend like the next year and a half trapping and relocating these raccoons. So I will not deliberately feed the squirrels now because those raccoons can smell that food from 500 miles away, it seems. We had the worst time with raccoons for quite a while. Squirrels are great. I love squirrels. Sam says Nightbot is an AI mod that you can use to automatically send notifications and links. Oh, are you talking? Is it for the live? Is that what you're talking about? I feel like you've mentioned that before, and I forget what it is. 2A Chefs is doing okay. Almost walking again after 3 years. Yes, that is awesome, man. Dude, I'm glad to hear that. That is good. You got this. You got this. Yes, very cool. Paul says barbecue trash panda is. All I can think of, and this is all I'm gonna say. All I can think of is coonskin cap, but I don't know how to make that. So yeah, relocation it is. Sam says yes. Okay, I gotta check that out, Sam. Um, can you send me a link or something? So like shoot it in my email if you don't mind. Homebuiltshop@gmail. And just say, hey, here's the link or something like that, or put it in the subject. I don't care. Just sometimes things get mentioned in the chat, and I make a mental note to remember, and then I don't. Anyway, let's see. But yeah, I would say back to Jim's heater. If you guys want to check it out, go check it out. Jim said he's got to post it on TikTok. I haven't seen that. I don't have your TikTok link. I'd have to do a search, but yeah, it's a super cool build, and I need something like that. I think it'd make a cool idea for a forge, because um, I'm not one that does a lot of forging. So if I got something that burns off waste oil, that would be cool. Sam says it's on YouTube, not a site. It's a YouTube feature. Oh, really? I've never seen that at all on YouTube. Huh, I'll have to check it out. I got to remember that one. Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen that, Sam. Anything in there. I've been through all of the settings, but maybe it's new. Maybe I've missed it. Robert says squirrels are cute until they get into the attic and walls of your house and start running around at 2 in the morning. Yes, I could see that. They are mischievous. But yeah, yep, I get you on that. I wish I had something. I wish I could show you guys. I wish I had a test cut already, but that'll be next week. I'll have a test cut, maybe even a test body, to show you. So be on the lookout for that sort of stuff next week. We'll be a little farther ahead on the cuts. Um, all right. Another thing I want to mess with this sometime this year. Do you guys remember a while back, right when I was kind of switching over to the laptop and instead of streaming from the phone, I was playing around with a microphone. Remember how we went through all of those? The microphones are out of sync and all that sort of thing. I got to get back to that. Right now, I'm still using the camera audio, which sounds really good. But I do want to get back to trying uh, some of the external audio. So one of these days, we'll get to playing with that some more. Paul says, 2A Chef says, be nice to Jeff. He believes that lefties are real guitars. Oh, funny, Paul. Funny. Hold on. How do I do this? How do I do this? Hold on here. This might be fun. I don't remember how to do this. Somewhere here. I'm going through. Darn, I don't remember how to do that. I was gonna flip. I was gonna flip the screen. Well, anyway, I was gonna flip the screen around so that it looked like I had a righty. Oh wait, now it just feels weird. That's always my argument. You know, I don't know how many times I've had people actually tell me, why didn't you just learn how to play right-handed? Why do you have to play left-handed? Then you'd be able to have, access to all these other models of guitars. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds simple, right? Do an air guitar. And I always ask them to do the air guitar, right? And they almost everybody does it right-handed. And I'm like, okay, now do it the other way. And they're like, oh, it feels weird. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly the same thing if I'm trying to actually play a right-handed guitar. I can't. When I'm working on a guitar for a customer, almost 99% of the time, actually, I don't think I've ever worked on one for another lefty. So all the ones I've ever worked on, including many of the ones that I build, are righties. And working on those, I play it upside down left-handed. My brain makes more sense out of reversing the chords than it does to actually try to play righty. And I'm not arguing with you, Paul. I'm just saying that that was pretty good. I can take it. Bring it on. Sam says, YouTube, stop deleting comments mentioning Nightbot. Stop being passive aggressive. Nightbot is on your dang site. I didn't see anything deleted, but that's probably interesting. Two-way, Chef. Jeff can't figure that templates go both ways. One of these, though, I think I did write on there at one point. One of my set of templates, I had to write on there lefty, or this side up for left, or something along those lines, because I did make that mistake one time. I have a guitar that's made 100% from pallets. The body, the top, the fretboard, the neck, everything is from pallet wood. It's actually a guitar that I really like, but it's a lefty because it never was intended to be a lefty until, and I can't remember which operation I was doing, but I put the template on. I think I was cutting the body out, or maybe it was drilling a hole. I don't remember. Anyway, I had the template on, and I stuck it on, not knowing. I put it on there lefty because it just looked. I was just kind of in the zone, right? Just going, doing whatever. And I stuck the template on there. Not this template, but it was one of the more telly style ones. Stuck the template on there, started doing whatever operation was, and as soon as the router bit or drill bit or whatever hit the body, I realized, oh no, this is supposed to be a lefty, and or this is supposed to be a righty. And I'm like, well, I guess it's a lefty now, and now it's still a lefty. And I, since most guitarists are righties, I still have that one. I've had it for sale for a very long time, and it's probably just going to be one that I end up keeping because it is a lefty. But yeah, I mixed them up once. Brimmer Mike says, hey, hope you've been well. Doing my first attempt at an Ernie Ball oil finish, Birchwood Casey gunstock oil and wax. What's your favorite neck finish these days? Right on. Welcome. How we doing? My favorite neck finish is still some type of an oil finish. I did a True Oil guitar I think it was that last January? I really like the finish on that neck. I like the Crimson Guitars finishing oil. And also another one that I'm trying to see. is the Osmo Top Oil. None of those are sponsored. I have zero affiliation, but I love that oil finish, and the waxy feeling too is also super nice. So the thing that my not least favorite, but I prefer those over any type of lacquer. So yeah, any of those type of oil and wax finishes, I don't feel you can go wrong. I love the feel of that. Just the lacquer can sometimes get sticky. It's something that I'm just so used to because I have a lot of guitars that way. But if I'm building one, I want some sort of an oil finish on there because I just love that silky, smooth oil finish. The thing I like about the Osmo specifically, well, True Oil too, I guess. Well, I guess all three of them, now that I think about it. All three of those finishes build up just a little bit, so you do get some gloss on the wood, but there is barely any sort of thickness to that, and it just feels like wood, and that's just what I like. I don't know. So that's what I'm doing. If for this guitar that I keep talking about that I'm working on designing, when I get this done, unless something changes my mind between now and then, I will be using the Osmo Top Oil on this as well. I did that on the bass guitar that I put together last year. Was that last year we did that? Maybe that's what I was thinking of. And I love the way, that's one of my favorites. I almost think that the Osmo Top Oil might be my favorite right now. I'm going to do that again. That is already the plan. Robert says, at one time, my oldest sister rescued a baby squirrel and raised it until full grown, and she let it go. Had built a cage outside, and after it was old enough, she just left the door open, and it left. Interesting. Time surfing! I was just thinking of you when I was trying to switch the camera. Says, at least the camera is the correct way. Yeah, if I mess with this enough, I would switch it. I don't remember how you switch that around. Oh, wait. Hold on. Ha! Whoa, how about that? Look. Look, now I'm a righty. Look at that. There you go. Oh, it's funny. Huh? It gives me flashbacks of when we had all those troubles. That was fun. Oh, let's see. Oh, Paul says, whoa, I got behind on the comments here. Let's get caught up. Paul says, I had a pet squirrel growing up. His favorite treat was peanut butter and Pop Rocks. It would eat and stop and try to figure out where the popping noise came from. Sam says, a piano could be a guitar and a keytar. Yeah, could be a piano. Just to mess around with the audience. Absolutely. 2A says, we've all done it, Jeff. Harry Dude's here. Harry Dude says, what's up? Finally made it. Just got home. Right on, Harry Dude. Good morning. How you doing? Are you still like roasting down there like 158 degrees? I mean, well, I guess that would be like 60 Celsius or something, but hopefully you're doing good. Paul says, I'm working on a reverse LP Junior lefty made out of pallets for a customer. Nice. Jim says, still got to do my belt grinder. Ordered some belts from Combat Abrasives. Nice, Jim. Right on. Yeah. That's where I get my belts from. A place called Combat Abrasives. I think I learned about them from Walter Sorrells. Do you guys know? Have you seen Walter Sorrells, like the knife making channel and all that? Not sponsored. Again, I don't know. I feel like I have to say that, but I think years ago he mentioned them, and I started ordering from them. I usually just order a big batch. But one thing I found, the very first time I ordered from them, Jim, and anybody else, I ordered like a ton. I ordered, I don't know, like 200 belts or something like that. They had some sort of bundle sale. This is years ago. Actually, what I found is some of those, I still have a couple of those belts left. it seems like the tape can actually get old. So I don't order that many now. I should have mentioned that earlier. Uh, but yeah, just as long as you use them, they're fine. And I've only had like maybe 2 of them come apart. And those were the old from that very original first batch, I think, when I built that belt grinder. But other than that, I've not had any problems. They have all different kinds of them, and they're super good as far as I can tell. You'll get that belt grinder done. Paul says it will have tele pickup set up with a tele neck. Oh, cool. I like it. That's going to be cool. Sam says the blue electrical cord looks safe with tape on it. It's fine. It's fine, Sam. We don't look at that. I don't even remember why that's taped. It's been taped for years. Robert says Odie's oil also leaves a silky smooth finish on wood. Yes, I've heard about that. Time Servant says, oh snap, Jeff learned a trick. See, you can teach an old dog. There's more too. I'm just not, I'll probably mess something up if I start playing with too many settings. Okay, McCall's laughing. Mike Johnson's here. Mike says just stopped by to say have a great day. Right on. Mike, you have a great day too. Right on. Glad you stopped in. Hey dude, high 20s for the last few days, which is a relief as we had a crazy amount of bushfires in my state. Oh man. Low to mid 30s for the rest of the week, I believe. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you're getting some relief. Wow, that's quite a drop, huh? Mid 60 to 80 degrees. Yeah, hopefully you don't have any sort of fires around you. I remember, what was it, several years ago there were some bad ones out there. Yeah, so just be safe with that dryness. And I'm a little bit concerned here. This is totally not workshop related, but we haven't had much for snow this year. And a lot of that means the mountains also haven't gotten snow. And I heard something a few days ago that the snowpack is like 60%. Is that 60% of where it normally is or something like that? All our water, a lot of our water here comes from the snowpack up in the mountains. So I hope that at least they get some more, because we're going to be really dry this summer. It does make me a little bit concerned there. Not that I can change it, but it does cross my mind. RMP Brown says, Jeff, what CAD software would you recommend for making your own guitar shapes to take to the CNC? Well, I'll muddy the waters by saying there's a lot of great ones out there. And really, I know people that use several different ones for doing guitars. Rhino, I think, is one that comes to mind that I know several people use. Man, I've even seen people use, I can't think of the name now. Carbide Create or Carbide 3D. I've seen people use those. The one that I use, again, not sponsored in any sort of way, is Fusion. I use Fusion. I would say whatever one you choose, I don't think you're going to make a wrong choice. Just know that there's a learning curve. I took a class to help me out with some of that learning curve on Fusion, and that made a big difference, but I'm still honestly learning. I make mistakes hourly as I'm going through the design process. A lot of times, especially at the stage that I'm at right now, which is I pretty much have everything designed, and I'm working on putting in arm bevels and stuff like that. I end up making mistakes and breaking the sketch, and I have to go back and figure out what I've done wrong to fix that. And that is a challenge. That's a real challenge. I feel fairly comfortable in there, but I wouldn't say I'm proficient. So yeah, there's a learning curve for sure. It's a super powerful piece of software, but yeah, just know there's a learning curve, and it's pretty likely that there's going to be frustrations, right? And it's really just kind of, it's just going to happen. So don't let that get you down with whatever piece of software. And I'm not affiliated with any of them. Whatever one you choose, spend the time and just learn it, and just know it's going to be, most likely anyway, it's going to be frustrating at times, and you just have to learn and work through it. Just on this build 2 days ago, I was working on the neck, right? So I end up doing it in sections. Like I'll get the heel extruded the way I want it, and then I'll extrude the headstock, and then I'll extrude the neck shaft, like the main portion of the neck, so that I only have the transition, the heel transition, and the headstock transition. That's the hardest areas, in my opinion, to work through. Well, I got the transitions modeled, but for some reason, they never. So if you think about it, I've got the heel transition, the neck transition, and the headstock. Basically 5 sections. Once I got those all modeled, they were still 5 separate sections. Like normally they kind of, when you do it right, I guess, they're going to become one model, like because they're all going to be joined. Well, I ended up with 5 separate pieces and they weren't joining. I could not get them to go together. So I had to backtrack quite a bit, figure out what I had done wrong, in one of the steps. Not wrong necessarily, but there was a couple other things that I needed to do. And I had like weird gaps that you couldn't, they were microscopic gaps that I had to go back in and fix between 2 faces, right? So what looks like they're completely butted up against each other was actually a gap. So it wasn't letting it join. Once I, kind of went in and spent literally hours, probably a whole afternoon, going back through the steps trying to figure this out. Like I still run into problems like that, and I can't quite understand, or it takes me quite a while to understand what I had done wrong and how to fix it. So just know that there's going to be challenges with that. Paul with a super chat. Right on, Paul. Thank you. Paul says, the coffee fund. Right on, Paul. Thank you so much. Harry Dude says, +1 for True Oil. Use it on a few necks and love it. Yes, True Oil was one of them that I really liked. Like I said, for this build that I'm working on, it's gonna be that Osmo oil. 2A Chef says, Jeff, you're still a kid. Thanks. Robert says, Mike, you as well. Right on, right on. Paul says, I'm happy, Jeff. Girl Scout cookies are on the way. Wow, did they ship already? Really? Are they all ready now? Nice. Yeah, if anybody's interested in ordering some Girl Scout cookies, you let me know here shortly. I got the hookup. Actually, you can pre-order now. 2A Chef says, if the Aussies taught their women how to use wax, bushfires would be limited. Bushfires would be limited. Is what I don't know. Oh boy, oh boy. It took me a minute. Time servants. A raffle. Jimmer says, you mentioned it, so I ordered a few. 2A Chef. Oh boy. KK's here. What's going on, KK? Says I caught up with you, and I'm glad because I wish you Happy New Year 2026. Hey Jeff, here in Greece, we have very cold, -16 in some places. I wish you all the good for all of you. Well, thank you, KK. Right on, -16. You're getting down there. That's about 0. That looks like mighty close to 0 Fahrenheit. It's getting pretty chilly. We haven't been that cold yet. I think we did have 9 this last week, like the night the night after we got that snow. I can't remember. We had like 9. I saw 9. Wow. Yeah, Harry Dude says, not gonna touch that. I'll get in trouble. I'm with you, Harry Dude. I'm not going there. Sam says, PayPal is better for donations. Just receives the full amount without a 30% cut taken by YouTube. Either way, I appreciate it. Sam, Paul, yes, thank you. To a chef, LMFAO. Paul says, yes, got notification last night that they were shipping. It gave me the option for you to deliver them, but that might have inconvenienced you a bit. I mean, it depends, right? Spring break, trip down south. I mean, I've never been down there. Robert says those gaps you mentioned can be figured out quicker if you zoom in real close. The section you need to check. Well, see, the problem was, Robert. I don't know why it cracked me up the way I said that. The gaps were internal. So all of the edges were touching. So it looked like everything was perfect. If you kind of think of it as a, I don't know, like the bottom of this has a little dish shape in here. And if I put my phone, which is flat, against there, it looks like on the outside that everything matches up perfectly. But on the inside, there's that little hollow. That's what I had, and I didn't realize it until I was making the slot for the truss rod, and I zoomed way into that slot, and I could kind of see some weird spaces in there because I had cut into the outer layer, I guess, right? I'd cut into the outer layer, and I could see that channel inside the neck, and that's when I started seeing, man, what is that little space? What is that? Why is there a weird gap there? And then that's when I started backtracking, and when I discovered that that's really what was going on. That's why it was keeping everything from joining together into one solid body, which it should have been. Terry says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Like, share, comment, all of that stuff. All helps the channel. Sam says, I cannot do spring cleaning. I don't have springs or good oil to clean them with. Sam, you need some springs, my friend. Do I have any springs here? I don't. I have some over there in a bin. I have a whole drawer full of different springs. You never know when you need springs for things. I'll bet Jim's got a drawer of springs too. Harry Dude says, if I order some cookies, I dare you to personally deliver to me. Harry Dude, that would be so cool. If I could figure out how to pull that one off, I'm not against that whatsoever. It's just, yeah, that would be great. I would love that. We could like build a guitar or something because I'd have an extended stay. 2A Chef says, yes, Jeff, you must not go there. Facial hair. I gotta get a haircut today, I think, too. It's starting to get a little bit long. Thankfully, it's beanie season, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway. Let's see, where are we at here? Oh, we're about 10 after. Not a problem. Anyway, you guys got any last minute questions, comments, or suggestions? I gotta turn the heat back on in here. It's starting to get a little chilly because I'm planning on doing some test cuts for the new guitar here after a little bit. And then I gotta get to filming for the old video that I was talking about earlier. Sam says, you cannot argue with a spring. It will keep retracting on you. That's a good one. I like it. Alrighty. Paul says, gotta go, everyone. Have a great week. Yep, me too. We gotta get out of here, Paul. We're gonna wrap this up. Again, you guys, I'm gonna try to get this video shot for this weekend. That's the goal. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I think we should be on track to get that done. Meanwhile, I'll keep working on this guitar. I want to thank all of you personally, like I'm thanking it for anybody else. It's just me. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the awesome conversation and just for being awesome. I appreciate all of you taking some time and hanging out with me here. Sam says, thank you for the fantastic stream. Robert says, everyone stay safe and healthy. Have a good one. Sam, be safe. Harry Dude says, cheers. Hope to get here earlier next week, but no promises. Harry Dude, no worries. No worries. We got another, well, it's not for another month at least. We have daylight savings. I think it's the end of February, beginning of March, something like that. So we got a little bit of time. But Toy Chef says, if Jeff delivers cookies to the hairy dude, he must bring me a Vic Blue back to the States. I don't know what that is, but if I go there, I'll bring you back one. Neptune says, have a good week, everyone. Neptune's you too, bud. Have a good one. Tell everyone hi. Baseman's looking forward to the new year of videos. Thanks. I am too. It's gonna be a cool year. It's gonna be a cool year. I got a lot of cool projects I want to tackle. So you guys, thanks again. I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you all have an awesome week. Get to do some building, hanging out with friends, family, all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here at Home Build Workshop. We're gonna get out of here. Take care, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Have a good week. Take care. We'll see you next time. Next week. Next Wednesday. Later.